Hello and welcome to La Rosa Reads. I'm Denise La Rosa, and today I am celebrating Black History Month and the month of love. Let's talk books. So y'all heard me. February is Black History Month. It is also the month in which we celebrate love on Valentine's Day. And so this year, for my Black History Month spotlight, I wanted to shed light on and celebrate Black love. Books that illuminate and celebrate something that is so visceral, so emotional, so raw, so real, so true, and just so superbly delicious. Let's start with my first recommendation. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan is a book that I absolutely love. I have raved about this book in numerous videos, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what the book's about. What you need to know is that this is a romance novel that is real in the truest way. We have a couple, these lovebirds that met in college and who have now grown older, have 2 children, and co-own a restaurant business. An unfortunate circumstance, an unfortunate tragedy tears them apart, tears their love apart, tears their marriage apart, and they divorce. That divorce doesn't prevent them from co-parenting and co-owning this successful business. They have to continue to do life together. And they are finding themselves juggling, staying civil with each other while also still very much having feelings for each other. And you just follow them on that journey, and where it leads is divine. Speaking of grown folks, I highly recommend Jasmine Guillory's Royal Holiday. This book was interesting because this is an older romance. We're talking about a mother figure, so she is in her 50s, maybe early 60s, and this is a grown woman who is going overseas to England. They live in California. She lives in California near her daughter, Maddie, who is a designer, a fashion designer. And she, being Maddie, gets this gig actually dressing a princess. And so she takes her mom with her to England for this amazing once-in-a-lifetime experience. And mom falls in love with one of the royal family's employees. And they are grown, but not too grown, for some good love. I enjoy how these characters are just exploring love and romance in a fresh way, a mature way. And it's done so respectfully, so beautifully, and so sexy. I loved it. So going from that older, mature love to young love, Love Radio is a book that is delightful. It's a modern day romance of 2 teenagers. They're both seniors in high school, living in Detroit. The young man actually DJs and has a little radio show with his uncle, who has been a long time DJ in the Detroit area. And then he has been smitten, having a crush on this girl that he has been going to school with for years, since like middle school. And he finally gets the nerve to approach her. And they are at first seemingly opposite and not really gelling. Like, you can't really see that romance happening. And then once they really peel the layers of who they are as individuals, it just makes sense. Their romance makes sense. And they fight for it. They have real challenges in life that try to get in the way of them staying together and connecting with each other. And they have great friends who try to help them out along the way. I am in love. You see the theme here? Love Radio. Shifting gears back to Jasmine Guillory. Another book from the Wedding Date series, besides The Royal Holiday, that I highly recommend is The Wedding Party. Now, these 2 characters are hilarious. There is the female protagonist and the male protagonist are both friends with Alexa, who is interesting. She was the first character in the Wedding Date series to find love in the very first book. And these two have a mutual friend, and that's the extent of their connection. The, the funny part is Alexa tried to hook these two up, set them up on a date. It went horribly wrong. They did not vibe. They did not mesh well together. And ever since, it's been a little awkward and a little bit of, enemies. I wouldn't say enemies. They're just got a disdain for each other. They're not really thinking highly of each other. But one party leads them to feeling a little too good, which leads them to, I believe it's Maddie's place, which leads to other things. And they end up really liking each other. It starts off as purely like friends with benefits, not even friends with benefits. They're just individuals with benefits. But life happens. They find these deeper connections with each other. And unbeknownst to them, they realize, hey, this isn't just a fling. I really care about this person. So it was super fun. I had a great time. I think you'll have a great time reading it as well. Mr. James Baldwin did us good when he gave us If Beale Street Could Talk. I have talked about this book quite a bit. What I will share with you in this particular video is that this is young love in the 1960s. They being the young boy and the young woman, were friends, lifelong friends, since they were itty bitty, living in the same neighborhood. They were just extremely close, grew up together, and one fateful day, they look at each other and they see sparks. They see love that goes beyond friendship. It is a romantic love, not just on the surface. We're talking about deep romantic love. And their journey is beautiful, and the writing is so ethereal. I almost feel like you're floating as you're reading this book. It really takes you on that journey of your first love. And unfortunately, the young man ends up being wrongfully accused of a crime, which sends this romance on an unexpectedly challenging journey beyond anything that even grown folks could comprehend. Yet their love is seeing them through these hard times. It's romantic. It's a classic. If you haven't already read it, you better get that book as soon as you can get your hands on it. It is divine. Last but not least is not a romance novel. It is nonfiction, and it is one of the most profound nonfiction pieces I've ever read in my life, and I've read a lot of nonfiction. It is All About Love by Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks is one of the greatest thinkers of our time, one of the greatest scholars of our time. And for her to unpack and examine and explore love in a caring, compassionate way, but also in a scholarly way, is just a transformative reading experience. She talks about love and how we as a society don't really know what love is and what love means. And to first know what it means and to understand it, we have to define it in the appropriate way. And she uses a lot of psychologists and other scholars that are just revered to use their knowledge to create her own mosaic of what love is and what it means and what it looks like. Everything from romantic love, familial love, friendship, love for community. It really is a book that is just deep in my mind and in my heart and in my spirit. I find myself throughout the day and throughout my own interactions with other people thinking about phrases and thoughts that Bell Hooks shares in this book. And I think, what better month to read it than February? And I definitely think it's a reread for me. Yay! So that's all, folks. That is our Black love exploration through books. What Black love type of books have you read that you think would fit this category that we should be reading in the month of February? And don't get me wrong, you guys. Every month we should be reading diverse reads from diverse groups of individuals. Whether it's any marginalized group, we should be engaged in that experience all the time. I do, however, greatly appreciate Black History Month. It's a moment to reflect and reset for me and intentionally celebrate these wonderful Black authors who have given us the world in their thoughts and their creativity. So let me know which books you would add to my list. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.